Today, President Obama and congressional Republicans met at the White House for the first time since the elections. It was hyped as this big bipartisan coming together where the two sides would hash out an agenda for the coming weeks. The meeting lasted an hour. Nobody was filming inside, so we don't have evidence of exactly what happened. But when the president emerged from the meeting to explain what had happened at the meeting, he couldn't have been more delighted at what he had learned at that meeting about Republican intentions.
I just want to say I thought it was a productive meeting. I thought that people came to it with a spirit of trying to work together. A lot of times coming out of these meetings, both sides claim they want to work together, then they head out to the microphones trying to win the news cycle instead of solving problems. They understand that these aren't times for us to be playing games.
Republicans understand these are not the times for us to be playing games. I was assured by these Republican leaders that in this meeting that they're not going to come out here to these microphones. They're not going to come out here and try to win the news cycle. They're not going to talk smack about me. We're going to work together. We're going to work together to serve man.
I was encouraged by the president's remarks regarding his perhaps not having reached out enough to us in the last session.
And I agree that the president did make an important point that Eric mentioned, that he hadn't spent as much time with us reaching out and talking to us.
These guys were all supposedly at the same meeting. President Obama thinks what happened is we all agreed we're going to work together from here on out, moving forward in a spirit of cooperation. The Republicans' take on it was, at last the president is admitting what a jerk he is. Senator, when I hear the president come out of that meeting with Republicans today and say that he thinks Republicans are approaching this with a spirit of trying to work together, as you know from my intro, it strikes me as detached from the reality of where Republicans admit that they are. Is it possible that the White House is gaming this out in a way that we cannot see, that I'm missing something, that there is a broader strategy here that just doesn't work at face value?
Well, you know, Rachel, a couple of years ago, I might have suggested that, yeah, maybe we're missing something. Maybe the president is on to something. The president has got to have learned something in the last 2 years. What you have just shown right on your TV there is these guys are very clear. They want to destroy the Obama presidency. Their job is to represent millionaires and billionaires. They really do want to privatize Social Security. They really do not want young people to be able to get help in order to go to college. At some point, you got to learn that lesson. They do not want to work with you. And the alternative approach, rather than keep going back with a cup in your hand, is to rally the American people, the vast majority of whom support you. Most people think it is absurd to give tax breaks to billionaires when you have a $13 trillion national debt. Most people think it is appropriate and moral and right to make sure that people who are unemployed have some money coming in so their families do not become desperate. We have the ideas that the American people agree with. We need the president and the leadership to start rallying those people and start putting the Republicans on the defensive.